Right, we are hopefully live here now, and what a hassle. It's very hard to operate this system indeed. I will endeavour to get better at it, I guess, the more I do. Hard to drag and drop images I'm finding on this computer, but because I want a fuller screen image here, and it wasn't the exact image that I wanted. The image I wanted had Prince William here with the number 4. Yes, when he's turning the other way, he's got the number 4, 4 being the doorway. So you can just make it out in this very small image here, the 4. The actual image that I started with is not even in all these images. That's from the same day. He's in his polo outfit. So what doorway is it? Is it the doorway to be the new king? Or is it the doorway out the door? And right at the moment, they're saying that Harry and the kids and Meghan are all visiting Charles, while William has stepped out with Kate, with Square Kate. Very on the square is old Kate. It's an interesting dress we have with the pins here, with the big V, all about the V's, isn't it? So hasn't it been a very interesting time this year so far? This year, in case you don't know, folks, is the Metonic 13. Now, I did make a post on YouTube around 20 minutes ago saying that I will be live, and it had 2 likes. So maybe there were more and they just don't credit them. This is always the case. I noticed Santos Bonacci had a video up the other day at a few thousand views just inside a few hours. And I was uptown this morning and I told a few people, and there's one guy there that's a friend of Santos. Santos actually lived in my area, about 20 k's from where I live. And this is where this guy was living at the time. And he knew him. And he got a bit annoyed when I said, you know, nobody gets those sort of views unless they're in the club. But he wouldn't accept that because, you know, he had got to know him. Funny enough, I went to a cafe not far away from here the other day, or maybe a couple of weeks now, and it looked like that Sasha Stone was there. Believe it or not, if you know this Sasha Stone, it's another one that's interviewed Santos. We're all in the Max Egan type camp. There's quite a few of these Australian shillers on the list, as it were. The Schiller's list, like the Schindler's List. And they're all interconnected. And they certainly dwarf me in views. And but when I was at this cafe, this Stone seemed to be looking over at me, and I think he sort of knew that I was somebody, you know, like in this sort of world, you know. It was crazy. But yeah, what a weird looking thing that one is, as they are in the club. So yes, folks, I don't know what you think of Prince Harry visiting the King, and he's got his Invictus Games, of course, on, in the old black and gold, for the bees and the beehive. Very, very strange days indeed. You know, is Harry the Dark Prince? So to take the whole fam to get what? But I was thinking of the boy King George, of course, with all that's going on with this monarchy. And they're even saying that Prince William will be a stripped down monarchy because they seem to have got rid of Beatrice and Eugene, the old sisters from Cinderella, as it were. The one with the toilet seat hat at the wedding. She was getting flushed because of the sins of the father. That's what that seems to be about. And good old Sarah, who's been in the media in Australia ever since the marriage, pretty much non-stop. A few little breaks, but probably one of the most covered royals, other than, of course, Diana, who's the most covered royal of all. And but for a little time back, when she got married, Sarah dwarfed Diana. And there's certainly been times when she has, and just lately with the Epi business and saying how she wanted to marry Epi. Well, that was pretty interesting. None of it adds up. We've had in Australia here, of course, we've had the Albanese as the Prime Minister of Australia. For people in America and England that may not know of Shim, uh, he's been an interesting figure, Prime Minister for a few years now. We went through a few a month it seemed for a while there, but not a month, but certainly there'd been a few, and he's been a bit longer. But certainly now new levels of not being popular. And he recently was on some podcast, and he said they asked him, "Would you shag, date, or marry three different celebrities?" And one was Nicole Kidman, and the other was Kylie Mode, and I forget who the other one was, one I didn't know of. But he picked Kylie, and then they said, "Well, would you, shag, date, or marry all of the above?" He said, and in his little voice, I'll do it. All of the above. And Australia, all of the above. Yes, well, that just caused the biggest stir. People were all outraged, of course. It is a strange thing for somebody who's supposed to be a dignified leader of a country to say, but all by design. I mean, as if somebody could make a mistake like that. People were giving him benefits of doubt. People were saying all things about it. People who like him were making excuses, and people who don't like him, of course, were going crazy. And I had one guy uptown that I was sitting there at an outdoor cafe, and he was making excuses. He was saying that the right wing media pick on him all the time, and even over this. But people were also rightly saying that in the Australian Labor Party, which is equivalent to the Democrats for you US dwellers, that people in the Democrat Party or Labor Party, they have a fair feminist element, and they always talk about misogyny. It's been a big issue going back, and they were strangely quiet. And so it just on and on it goes like a rolling snowball down the hill, gathering more and more angles and dangles as we go. But of course, it gets interest in the media. People who might just tune into the media for a minute and just sort of see what's happening, they see something like that and then they get involved. And it's all about that, isn't it? But we can laugh. If you treat it as comedy, well, that's a bit of comedy for your day. But if you get absorbed in it, that's why I had to correct a friend of mine because he kept posting rubbish around the place. I said, mate, you're just absorbing stuff all the time. The only things I ever post on any social media are things that are helpful for people. I watched a really good video today on comfrey and the war on comfrey, and you can see why, because comfrey creates your own fertiliser. And I've known that for years. And funny enough, I was down the coast 20 years ago, and I stayed with a friend on his property, and he had two little runs of comfrey, X metres long and wide, thick as. And he said how he mows it with a mower and then rakes it up and puts it on fruit trees and things. And I thought, what an excellent idea. And I was saying how quickly comfrey turns into plant food. They were saying as quick as 48 hours. I know it does go black, quicker than anything else. And you can make a really good liquid fertiliser. And it really got me started back on that idea. I've got to grow more. My place has got a bit overgrown in recent years because I went a number of years looking after my mum with Alzheimer's disease, and I had a few girlfriends in that time, but I got put through the washing machine with them, typical banshee type treatment. And then I found this girl, and still a bit of a banshee. Definitely, they all are in Australia, but she's been better. But for the first few years that I went out with her, because of all the time that I'd done the caring, etc. All I wanted to do was go on little holidays and have a break from everything. And in that time, the garden got all overgrown, and we've been on a path to correct it. But in those number of years that we did a lot of travelling, just lost the plot with it, and I had too many things planned, and it's turned into an absolute jungle. But it is good in one way. We cut a tree down, and we've got fuel, which is fantastic because, we live for the fire in winter. It seems to be getting colder here. Maybe it's I'm getting older. It's certainly this warming idea rubbish. I mean, in May this year, we had a 7-degree morning, which for here is pretty cold, and it feels colder than you think. Like in Canada, that's probably a warm day in winter, but it's like a dead cold in Australia. It's strange. It doesn't need to be that cold to feel cold. And because it had been raining, cats and dogs really all year. It's been raining for years here. It's been a really wet period. Apparently we're moving into a drier period now. So we'll be back to droughts. We haven't had a drought now for a number of years. It's just been so wet all the time. And when we did get those low temperatures in mid-May, because it was wet, the ground and everything, it really made it nothing worse than wet and cold, in a combination. Everything's so damp, and then when you do finally get a little bit of sun, it just doesn't dry out in the shorter day periods that we're into at the moment. So we have had the solstice, of course, now, so we're starting to turn the corner. It's a bit more of a pleasant day today, but what's been happening in the last week was we've had a bit of a sunny morning, and you think, oh, it's going to be great today, and then 10 or so, 11 o'clock, bang, the clouds come over, and it's all miserable, and by 1 or 2, it's freezing again. It's quite strange. So we're hoping to lift from that. It's so wet. But of course, we always want a bit of rain because I've only got water tanks, and it's a bit depressing when you have an empty water tank. But I tell you now, for a number of years, the water's always been full. I wish I had 2 tanks so I could store more. I've only got the one, and unfortunately, the girlfriend is just an absolute water user. I'm onto it now with it finally, and she's starting to listen a bit to me with these things that, they get aggro because they just, she's used to living in the town, as it were, where water's just turn the tap. When you tell them that just half a sink of water, and when you wash something, I've got 2 sinks, you wash it in the second empty sink just with a cloth and keep the water clean. I managed to get 2 days out of half a sink of water, clean everything up, and then eventually it's only an inch of water, starting at 4 or 5 inches, and I use it up like that, and it stays clean. Because then she complains that the water's dirty, and she's the one that makes it dirty. They just throw things, and I've got a mate that stays here occasionally, and he's the same. They just throw things straight in the water, and I said, no, put it over there and use the spongy cloth and clean it, and get a little cup and rinse it, etc. But it's really hard to educate people. They are so, you might say, brain dead, as it were. It's incredible. And I'm just looking here. I haven't actually got the chat going. This is what I had thing there before. Oh, here it comes. Maybe I'm opening it up now, so I should be able to see your comments. Sorry, folks. Yeah, but it didn't matter for a while there. I had a rave. Oh, this is incredible. I've got to sign into my account. I don't know. I hope this is streaming. It should be. Oh well, what can you do? I hope you can all hear me. Yeah, well, I'm trying to put this out. I don't know why I had to sign in to my account. I should be online, I don't know. It's a nightmare, this stuff, I tell you. Just open the chat. It makes no sense. Oh, there we go. Let's see if this works here now. And to continue to YouTube, I just don't understand this, so I mustn't be even online. It's a funny world, this one of these things. Yeah, I hope this is right. Oh, it's saying wrong password. I don't know. Well, I'm just going to have to end this stream. I know, hopefully you got it. You're getting no. There's still bloody can't get the thing. It should have a chat here. Maybe I'll just go to this here. There's a bloody really bad things, these things. I thought I was right to do this thing. I didn't. What do you mix them? You open up the docs, it should be able to do. Oh, there it is, chat. Okay. Maybe the chat is there. I was trying to come with another thing. Yeah, there's nothing here on the chat. I don't know. It should be simpler. Anyway, hopefully you people are chatting away there, and looks like it's got to go back next Saturday. It's just not performing like I want. Oh no, yeah, I can see the chat. Oh, well, okay. Oh, I hope you got it sorted, mate. Hi. Okay, keep the stream going. Yeah, I will then. Okay, I'm right there. Okay, how many people in the chat here? I'm just not sure. You know where you can go to find that. It's look, as I go here, I'm going to get better and better at this. They did show me that one, but there's so many things to try and remember and focus on. Can somebody make a comment, please, so I can see that it's working? Surely you can make a comment. I'm waiting and nobody's making a comment. Come on, make a comment, someone. Maybe it's just not happening. I don't know. Yeah, I think I was trying to sign in with another account there. That would be no good. So nobody's making a... Oh, yeah. Okay. 10 watching now. Oh, thank bloody God somebody could make a damn comment, you know. The effort I put in here, you got no idea, folks. And I'm not even getting enough to play my damn internet. So I'm a bit angry, but yeah, now that's a bit time. Stop making bloody comments. I'm only kidding. Oh, yeah, I hate these things. They're just so complex, you know, especially I'm 65, you know. And I do a damn good job here. You know, it just shitted me no end the way this guy was on about Santos. I just wanted to hook him. Truly, you know, because, you know, like, it's just how these people do things. I better calm down because, you know, again, you feel like you're under the ropes too on this thing. But there you go. Somebody's made a comment. 13 now. Yeah, 13, you know. That Cody and all these people get hundreds for all their damn gematria, you know. And they just do too much. It's too wide spectrum. And there has to be a lot of it's just coincidence. A few bits of gold where I've watched some of these people and I go, now that is a really good thing. You should expand on that more. But off they go waffling on about all the sports and that. Who cares, you know? Why don't you concentrate on what's good? Of course, they never do the HEX. They never call that Santa. Santos. You're talking about Santos, Mark Linford. So I see Jason, Jeffrey, Daniel. It's like we used to have a thing on Australian TV with Romper Room. It was called for children, and she used to hold up a magic thing. It was like a mirror, but it had nothing in it. She was just a circle, and she used to. I can see. I can see Daniel. I can see Jason. I can see Mark. And actually, you could write into them or phone in. I forget now, and leave your name, and they used to call you out, and they called me out once my mum did it for me. I was only very young. Yeah, crazy. Santa Claus. Santa Claus. I don't know. What are you referencing that to? I don't know. That's because the Schiller's list help their algorithms. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. We should have a decentralized platform, shouldn't we? That would be really good because Biddy Shooty, that's just terrible as well. You know, I go there looking for something to watch, and there's just nothing to watch on there really. You know, there's only the Fakeologist and that Phil, and you know, I mean, Fakeologists, they're not that good. And that Phil is still on the Dresden's, never got back to me. Say, mate, you're right about Dresy. It's good that Dave J has got bids up on that. The only one other than me. Yeah, where you can put the live streams coming up. I made a post on the thing, you know. 13, number 2, 13, number 2, number 3. What's this number 2? I don't know what this is about. You've got a crown and number 2, number 3. Taylor Swift. What about Taylor Swift? It's been a big news thing about the wedding, the alchemical wedding they were calling it. The TS Taylor Swift, eh? What a Swifty. Yeah, it's shocking in the media. Wish I knew how to change the picture and put videos up and everything. And it's got this thing here you can extend a bit like, you know, this sort of thing. I'm doing this thing, I don't know whether you can see that. It has got this barricade thing. I'm just saying I have to go back and get them to show me some of the things working. They weren't keen on streaming from the library, but we did. He ended up buckling and said, I'll do a real short one, and he insisted I made it private. Oh, that Rizal. Oh, he's a shocker. He's just there to argue against them or something. He's really weird. How dumb could you be? I mean, you know, that's the height of dumbness at Rizzoli. And as they're talking about Venezuela, and he was sticking up for it. I mean, terrible stuff. He does, doesn't he? Yeah, yeah, definitely the worst of the lot. Oh yeah, doesn't she there? Toma Lu 9Z. We've got some funny names here today. Good on yous. Tomalu 9Z. Yes, as I always say, the long arm of the law. And on the square, we might say. And isn't that interesting, that outfit there with the V? Yeah, it's funny about that. Yeah, it's like just to add to the BS, you know. It gives a perspective, yeah, but you just can't stand it, could you? It's just so silly, you know. Yeah, and I made a comment on one of my videos, only once, funny enough. And it was a sort of good comment, you know. And I scratched my head, I didn't reply, I just said, oh, yeah, well, whoopie doo doo. trying to trying to act like he's cool. Yeah, they caught him as Cloverfield or whatever does stuff on him and rips him apart. He sticks up to these two people that said they were deniers of uh, the hollow, you know what, and yeah, he was covering. You know, he says that they really were in the old prison, like David Irvine and that. You know, as we know, it's a bit like old Charlie, the man's son. Oh yeah, oh the EVs. Yeah, yeah, big problem with those EVs, aren't they? Charging stations and all electrical, and of course, they can just turn you off is one thing. But of course, with the petrol shortage idea, they're pushing them now. There was a thing I saw yesterday saying, oh, you know, when there's no petrol, we can have an EV. But there's other problems with them. Uh, oh yeah, definite. Yeah, well, I'm not big on the chemtrails. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you're, you know, that's one because as I said, the parts per million worry me. But I think it's the cloud seeding idea. So it's somewhat murky waters on that one, I would say. To me, most of the trails seem to be, you know, high up ones are the condensation trails. If you've got any real good evidence on chemtrails that you can give us there, Jason, I'd be happy to look at it. But I never noticed anything like that myself here, and people say, but I used to see them more as a kid. The jets used to fly over. Oh, just rubbish there. The Narnia, Narnia, Irania, Narnia. Everything with I is horrible. Uh, Israel, Iberia, India. You know, it's every country, but the eyes have it. You know, I've made videos about that. Yeah, of course, they just had a big Khomeini funeral. Oh, well, that's it. Yeah, this data centers does seem to be a worry. I can't understand all that. Why you need so much data centers and what that's all about. It's all a bit confusing, isn't it? And the water use. So they're saying, but you know, how true anything is, I'm never sure anymore. But it wouldn't be good to go back to a simpler life, you know, when life was simple, no rip-off people. And the roof was shared, and after a trail it was covered with slivers of aluminium. Well, that's an interesting idea. Can we make a video and show us this? Uh, yeah, surveillance centres. That's an interesting thing. And I did watch a thing the other day, they were talking about cameras. We certainly have got a lot of cameras, haven't we, folks? Everywhere you look today, there's those little bauble cameras. And we like getting a few plant cuttings through our nursery around the place, and you worry that they're mixing the jacks. That's the police, in case you didn't know in Australia, we call them the jacks. Jack boots are going to come. And that was ages ago. Oh, I see. Yeah, slivers of aluminium. That's an interesting thing. Just worries me the parts per million, you know, in the whole air and stuff. Um, you know, a few 44-gallon drums in a plane. It's a very expensive way to poison the public, as it were, when you've got water tanks. And we've got them up in the hill in the town nearby me, and I just pull up with a truck and chuck some stuff in the water. Away you go. Everybody could get sick. That could be very easy. Uh, so I'm not sure, you know. I've never been a big fan of a lot of mainstream conspiracy theories, but if you're saying that there's been aluminium on your thing, yeah. Every is surveillance. Every is surveillance. Mark, uh, can we add a few words there to make that make more sense? Everything is surveillance. You know, I have to add the words to that. All these people were stage managed to a political plan which no one has as much guessed in the course of many centuries. Okay, yeah, well, I mean, are they coming from the air or are they coming into the tanks, as I said? You know, they put them in the tanks and then fly planes when it's condensation things. Drones everywhere here in Albuquerque. I believe that one. I think drones are the latest surveillance idea. You know, I'm sure the police here where I live are using them. I know somebody, and this is a couple of years ago, told me how they were growing some Bobby Hope in the bush and they got busted. The police had put a sly camera in a tree and it must have had a warning thing on for movement or something. I'm not sure, heat seeking to turn on, or was it just on 24/7? But that's how they caught him. They just had it rigged so that when he went to his crop, as it were, they got a warning bell, and the next thing they turned up. So I thought it was interesting. Chemtrails are non-stop. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not sure about them at all. If you can give us some evidence on that. Have you got a channel, Thomas Lou? Well, obviously got a channel to do this. Can you make a video? And yeah, Bobby Hope. I like that, man. Hope for the future with Bobby Hope. The thing about the Bobby Hope is that they've sort of somewhat legalised at the point. You've got to go to a doctor and it costs you $100 for a consultation. And then you go out the front and you can buy some. And, you know, just the way they've got it so like that, like controlled, you should just legalise it and people sell it at a market. I've never heard that one before. Yeah, it's an old one here. Australia, we're very good at that. Johnny Cash for hash and Bobby Hope for dope, and rhyming slang has always been a big one. Captain Cook, you go and have a look, or a butcher's hook. Uh, uh, yeah, cameras in the forest. There's a big thing in Australia now, definitely. Um, you know, because people have grown things in state forests. Where are you, Jason? Are you in Australia or the USA? Seems most of my people are either in USA or Australia. Yeah, of course, making more money out of it. Exactly right, you know. They can't miss a trick, can they? Otherwise, we'd be allowed to grow our own tobacco, our own alcohol, and our own Bobby Hope. And, you know, homegrown tobacco would be better. It's the chemicals in the tobacco making people sick, no doubt. Yes, the drone is, and that's another way of surveillancing, and people are going in the bush. Oh, central New South Wales, I see. Yeah, good on you. Whereabouts in central New South Wales? Uh, within a proximity, you don't want to tell us too much. Cheers, jungle. Oh, here's a new one. Cows cry. The royal tea drinkers. Yes, they are, aren't they? Terrible, 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 terrible. Yeah, Earl Grey everywhere. Oh, central Victoria. We've got central West New South Wales and central Victoria. And there's now the big Kush. Oh, hello. There's a bit of Bobby Hope. The Kush. Crazy. Remember old Dave J used to pull a big Harry Wong. There's another one for her. A Kinger. King Kong. Oh, Wellington. Very good. My mother grew up in Wellington. There you go, eh? Small world. You're missing a G. Yeah, Mount Wellington, is it? Oh, no. What's the name? Mount Arthur. Is it Mount Arthur? I think it is. It's a beautiful little town, Wellington. I had a girlfriend that came from there too. Her parents ran the pub back years ago. San Clemente, California, the big kush. So we got Cali and East Coast Australia. Yeah, probably where most of my people come from. I would imagine. The followers, you know, a lot of surfers follow the jungle surfer, of course, and they're two big surfing areas, aren't they? Really, East Coast Australia and California traditionally. Yep, Mount Arthur, nice country. Yeah, I'd love to go and climb Mount Arthur. I've got to get back to Wellington. Only been there twice in my life. Once as a little boy, and then I took my mum back there to visit family. We didn't have any family left in Wellington. Some in Blaney and some in Bathurst. Mum grew up in Wellington, but most of the relatives were in Bathurst and Blaney, and we did have some in Orange as well, all in that zone anyway. Yeah, British Columbia, BC, Big Bud. Yeah, it seems like it's all a surfers and stoners world on the Jungle Channel. Yeah, we want a bit of that BC. Send it over. Yeah, the caves, Wellington Caves. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I haven't been to the caves. Mum used to talk about the caves. So that's something I should do. Definitely get there and check that out in some time. And go back to Blaney and that little town out of Blaney. I think it's Carcoar. That's an excellent little place. I love that one. And all that area, it's great, for a change from the coast, as it were. And I like Mount Panorama Racetrack, having to drive around that. So I'll do that again. And Lake Canobolas out at Orange. I've been swimming there as a kid and I thought that was fantastic. And what's the name of the river there too at Wellington? Oh, okay, it's a spin out. Yeah, I've been to Jenolan, I've been to Wombian Caves, if you know those ones. Caves Lights Dutch Buckets. I don't know what that means. Dutch buckets. Is that bucket bongs? Never heard people talk about bucket bongs much anymore. Dutch buckets. Yeah, crazy stuff. Well, can somebody give me an update on how many people we've got in the chat now? Just out of interest. Bell River, yeah. Runs into Macquarie. Now, okay, Macquarie River's in Bathurst, I'm thinking. Is that right? I'll have to go swimming in these rivers. I don't know, can you swim in the Bell River? I guess when the tide's high, there's been rain, and then it dries right up, I think, there, doesn't it? Can get pretty dry out at Wellington, but it can be quite green as well. 15! Oh, what a record number, the Devil's number. Look out, folks. Oh, it's sort of slowly been growing as we go. 15 watching. We've got a couple of people reporting on it. Just Mark and Jason. Good on you. They're the main chatters here at the moment. Come on, somebody else. Come and say hello. And yeah, what did you think of my last video on the damn space station? I bloody said it was 25 greater, but it's 40 times, isn't it? Even more than 40. 9Ks compared to 400. And they think they can see it. You couldn't even zoom in on that. And of course, at that sort of zoom, you'd only have to move the slightest bit and you'd be way off. So it'd be very hard to focus in on that. And you can go all the way to Dubbo on the Bell River. Hey, we got a Kiwi here. And it's a Gillian with a lady in the house from New Zealand. New Zealand ladies are usually pretty nice, actually. And we've got a bit more Bansheeism here in Australia. I always said that to people. That I had a Kiwi girlfriend. I've had actually two. And they were very, very nice. But the men I find a bit strange. But I reckon Aussie guys are good. But we've got, Aussie guys should get with Kiwi ladies somehow because they're softer overall. I mean, there's Banshees everywhere, but Australia's got a certain type of Banshee. I tell you, pretty hardcore. I had my mate here yesterday, and he's a great guy, married to a lady 32 years, two grown-up kids, and he's had really bad health issues, spent 50 days in hospital, and it was from dairy, just drank dairy, 500 mils a day. I warned him years ago, he used to work for me. Never listened, all his lungs were really bad. And he was leaving here, and he started talking about his missus, and he ended up in tears, mate. He's 6'2", he's a real man mountain of a guy, strong guy, and she keeps threatening him with the door. And I mean, they bought the house together, but women have got it over men in this way, and she just threatens him. Okay, then, yeah, Jason, you better watch it. As I said, it's really telling that a jumbo jet flying at 9Ks, they say high, around that up to 10 I think it's 30,000 feet is 9. I guess they go as high as maybe 35,000 feet. So around that sort of parameter. And they're saying the ISS is 400. So it's a big difference, isn't it, if you're in the K's idea. So it's like 6 miles to 250 miles to US people. And so a big parameter difference. And you can barely see Jumbo, which is 70 metres long. And that's on the code. When I listened back to the video, I thought some people say, look at all that code. Well, it's not me, it's them. You know, they say 109 metres, for instance, for the ISS. Well, there's your 19, your star number in Ataro. I do mention that in the video. Yeah, it's hard to do a video and not, because, you know, I always think, how can I say this thing without using the numbers? Because, I just don't want to be, people think, God, he's using these, it's their numbers. Numbers are just numbers. We should be able to use any number we want. Yeah, no way you would see it, Big Kush. That's exactly right. Yeah, and just be so small, like smaller than a pinhead of a pinhead. Because as I said, the jumbo jet's small enough, and look at the difference, 40 times. It's absolutely nothing makes any sense, does it, of the things they say. The glass, you can't attach glass to metal, as you know. You need a rubber seal, so it's even weaker than the glass. And glass isn't strong. I mean, you just, they say the vacuum space and even the movements and pressures from that, the speed, 27,000. So there's a 777 that everything's coded with their stuff, isn't it, for a start? Just to say it's 250 miles. Yeah, there they are. They've got their 25 in there, And then you try and cover it in a video and you're giving people codes. Oh, don't they? Yeah, they love their numbers. Yeah, don't you? You just go down a slight hill around here where I live, and you just west of here, there's a rise up. Would only be 500 feet, and when you go up and down, you can get ear pops. Yes, that's exactly right, Glenn. Sky. And it's in that Lennon song. Above us only sky. When we wake up, we'll know there's only sky. And isn't it interesting how people like that have been given the go-ahead to educate us if we have ears to listen? It's like that Supertramp album I was showing the techie that was helping me. And he's only just still at school, last year of school. And they're a little bit like they've got a raincoat on to good information. They're not that interested. I said, I can see you're not that interested in this. I had to go at him. I said, you will be. In 10 years' time, you'll remember what I say. So listen to me now. And I showed him the picture of the fat lady singing, holding the orange juice up against the towers, as it were, with the orange for Agni. And I explained to him Agni is the fire, and Ore is the 8th star. And then you're going around in the 8s. The chitter-chatter, as we know. Yeah, it's really hard to educate people on the no space idea, you see. Now, when I was a kid, only, 6 maybe, was when Lost in Space. Isn't that a good one? Lost in Space. That says it all. And Star Trek, ST, we know the Sid Gibbons of the Taylor Swift, don't we? And the Shania Twain, ST, both sort of came out. And we were definitely lost in space there. And that was just getting us ready for the next stage, which was 69 and Armstrong on the moon. Talk about Lost in Space, the Bonnie, the Tyler. Oh, they love that Tyler. And Lost in France. And Total Eclipse. People have been talking about that. It's an interesting artist and sounds like Rod Stewart, and Rod Stewart sounds like her. And of course, they're all mixed around there. They do some of the same songs, don't they? I think Rod might have done Lost in France. Yeah. Yeah. You can't see hundreds of Ks. Oh, of course, the interesting thing's the orbit, like people should just think about that. They talk about gravity, that the moon at 237,000 miles can pull the water up, blah, blah. And, that makes no sense that something could orbit and not get pulled to Earth just by their modelling. And it's going around. What makes it go round? What propels it at 27,000 miles, you know? Just that alone should, you know, people are so silly to believe these things. I used to scratch my head about the satellites and the orbit at a young age, but you went along with it because uh, everything's, you know, that's how, you know, it was the consensus. And Lost in Love, the air supply, aren't they? Oh, God. Yeah, you talk about mix around there, that Russell somebody or other. And isn't it interesting how some of these Australian artists have made it very big in the world stage too? Because they're all part of the empire, and they really push that. And out of Scotland too, Colin Hay, of course, Men at Work. There's a good doco on his career I watched. It's quite interesting. But the Scottish bit, and of course, you know, out of Scotland came nearly, you know, it's hard to say the second. In one way, they're the second biggest band after the Beatles. You know, in some ways, aren't they? Like you invented stadium rock like that. Even the guy at the Rolling Stones said, "Oh, AC/DC, they are stadium," and they did that concert in Canada with the Guess Who and Rush. And when he said we were looking around for people to do it with us, and we just thought of AC/DC because they are a stadium. Funny, I saw that band at the Police Boys Club at Daceville, and they were doing covers of Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin. And then I saw them at a thing called the Bondi Lifesaver, and only a small venue, you know, maybe 300 people at the most. And gee, they went a long way, but of course organised, obviously. And Men at Work, another interesting thing. It's supposed to have been taken to court because we have a song, Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree, and they said they ripped it off. And gee, it's a stretch, isn't it? Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, merry, merry king of the bush is he. Yeah, it sort of is Land Down Under, but you know, it seems a very contrived thing to give the Kookaburra song some more credit and thing. And people overseas wouldn't know the Kookaburra song. Well, now you might, because it was a Men at Work, what do you call it, litigation case. Interesting thing about that is I was in Byron Bay years back, 89, I'm thinking it was 90, and they had, at the Arts Factory, they had a band called Absent Friends, which was a guy out of an Australian band called The Models, and a lady born in Canada actually, but big in Australia, called Wendy Matthews, and that was packed, and Colin Hay was the support band. Then a week later I was on the Gold Coast, and we went and seen Colin Hay at the Playroom at Tallabudra, Palm Beach in the Gold Coast, and there was about 50 people. That song, it's a kid's song. Yeah, sounds a bit, yeah, kid's song. Yeah, that could be part of it. Yeah, but I ended up talking to Colin Hay at the bar. And I said, oh, you know, I seen you last week and it was crowded. And I knew that was only crowded because of the other band. And besides, the ups and downs in the industry. And we see now, like in the earlier 80s, I watched in this docker, there's something there, and there's like 30,000 people in the USA watching him. Oh, I bet it was popular in New Zealand. Yeah, everything popular in Australia is popular in New Zealand, and likewise, pretty much. A lot of the industry here, I was even seeing a thing about I'll sing my song and I'll be gone. Mike Rudd, he's a bloody Kiwi too. Half our music industry is Kiwi. Very musical people, but of course, most of them are drinking tea there. Those Finns are definitely on the tea. Uh, Premier of his book, uh, Roosevelt, Roland Roosevelt's. Oh, this is about Colin Hay. And I learned those songs. Are you talking about the Kookaburra or Down Under? I think you're talking about Kookaburra. Yeah, how about a home amongst the gum trees with lots of plum trees? That's an interesting one, isn't it? I quite like that song. Forget who wrote that now. It's somebody famous. Uh, Tears for Fears. Tears for Fears. Oh yeah, well they're definitely on the. They love their tea. See the first word being tea there. Definitely. Very powerful music, that, isn't it? A very powerful sound. And all these crowns and the 1 and 2 are. Well, yes, we might start to wrap this up. Been a pretty good little live stream. Can somebody give me an update on how many people are watching here now? Yeah, 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 yeah. The whole industry, really, pretty much, that I can think of. Only, I saw a band called the Radiators recently at the local pub, and they never really made it. They only made it to a certain level, and I think they might have been all right. I'm not sure. Because, yeah, everybody, yeah, isn't that? Yeah, every tea person wants to, or is. Yeah. Uh, Radiators had some interesting songs. Give Me Head. Only 14. So we're one down. We're up to 15. We lost one. Yeah, they had a song, Give Me Head. And a couple of interesting songs that they sang. And they seemed reasonably male. Good ratio. The crowns are from top com centres. Good audio. The audio's good. All that's good. I'm glad because I did have this echo on one of them as I did it, which was no good. Yes, and they've adjusted my perspective on this. I had too much, whatever you call it, and when I looked at the video, it was 33 gig. I've only got 100 gig shitter computer, so I've got to watch, going too long. One per 1,000 subs ratio. That's a good ratio, you reckon? Um, yeah, you'd heard the radio, so only 100 or so people. So it was good, and I think they might be all guys. I'm hoping so. It didn't come up. Oh yeah, of course not. They don't do notifications for me. You got to be getting. I don't even get notifications for comments. I hit the little notifications thing and I say, oh, there's a new comment. It doesn't. Now and again it lights up with a red thing, but not all the time. Most of the time it doesn't. In fact, just the odd one. Live watching versus likes. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but the audio levels are fine. I'm liking that. What do you mean? Yeah, by good ratio of live watching versus likes. So there's as many likes as are watching. Yeah, yeah, they don't get a huge crowd, and they never went very far for how good a band they are. So that says to me that's what happens in the industry. I've had friends who were really good at music and did a bit of thing, had a little bit of limited success, but they never go anywhere because they just don't imbibe in Earl Grey or Twinings. Hi JS, there's Big Mike, so maybe we're back to 15. Mm. Yeah, Too Real. This is the reality TV channel. Definitely the reality TV channel. One of the only ones. I nearly have to watch my own videos. I'll give a shout out to old Christian Resurrection. He does some very interesting work on here. And our old mate Dave J's got these conversations. They're pretty long though. It's good to have a bit more condensed information somehow. Could be. Can't say too much or we'll have to kill you. Yeah, somewhere near there. Yeah, I just got threatened, back in early days. I used to put my head even up on there, but, you know, people don't like, some people just don't like people who talk the truth. So I decided to be a bit more incognito. Maybe years ago, yeah, the floods. Yeah, well, the floods here every few years. It's just how it is. It's not right where I am, fortunately, but not far. You can get pinned in. You can't go very far. And I feel for some people in the conditions, because that's something that it's definitely not a hoax. That people have to throw their carpets out, etc. Especially Brisbane can cop it bad, for a city. The black helicopter's nest. You're saying the Sunny Coast is the black helicopter's nest. Very badly named Sunny Coast. Should be Rain Coast. And I've always thought that was a Gold Coast too. The odd holiday I went up there as a kid, so disappointing. You look at the brochures, it's always so sunny. You go there, it's windy, howling rain. The surf's a mess. They're terrible. Oh, Booderham. Butterham, yes. Some of the people call it Booderham. Have you seen the governor of Reserve Bank? Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, anyone in politics and Reserve Bank and all that rubbish. Oh, incredible. It's incredible how we found that out, eh? And it's very hard to tell most people, isn't it? Really hard, that one. They'd rather be reptiles, Oh, that's okay. Shapeshifters, something that's physically impossible, but that's okay. But just something as basic as what we talk about. And I really think it does stem to Jamaica and Scotland and Scottish Jamaicans. It's a big part of it. Charles Davenport, Island of Dr. Moreau, and the idea of Usain Bolt and the horses. And I'm thinking for a wrestler, piggies. Yeah, no doubt. And a bit hard to spot, It's not as easy as you think, that's for certain. Especially in Euro, maybe even harder, Late changes would be, a bit different. But if they're working on them as children, and that's the true child abuse, isn't it? Doing things like that. But they're doing it to their own. It's very complex. All this epi thing, it's all full of them, so it's not right. But it's something the narrative to scare the average person. I know I was down the beach here years ago now. This was maybe 10 years ago, and a girl I know had her 2 kids there, and I was just leaving, having my board under the arm. I just wanted to leave and get home, sort of thing. And she was just going to paddle out, and she said, "Oh, can you mind my kids?" And I said, "Oh, no, you're right," because she was just going straight out, and the kids would have been right, I thought, because she could sort of watch them, because it was only a small day. And she said, "Oh, there's so many kitty fiddlers." I went, "Okay then." So I stayed 20 minutes while she had a few waves and minded the kids. But I thought, gee, the fear that they've installed in these people. Yeah, yeah, I think there's more than we think, That is definitely... Sound is badass, man, badass. Oh, the medical one, yeah, in Queensland, New South Wales. Oh, they were shocking, weren't they? Young, I think her name was here. Oh, it was just so obvious. Some are more obvious, and then you get the Kylie Minogues and uh, yeah, thank you very much. I try my bloody best. Just having a bit of fun with it, really. I said to somebody today, the only thing, because there's no real, you know, reward much for doing this, except there is people saying to me, "Hey, thanks for the info, thanks for," say with the vid as it came, people who had followed me were quite prepared for that. I warned about it because we knew the Metonic 7. And so there it was, I did a video in the March saying, now next year, folks, this is Metonic 6, and it started in the 6 year, but the 7 year was the big one with it. And then the 8 year was the control year. It was very interesting how the 6, 7, and 8 played out there. She's in AU now. Who's in AU? Yeah, is this the young? Oh, Ardern is. Oh, Ardern's. Sorry, I get it now. Oh, Ardern. Oh, what shock. And the whole family's been in MI6 and that for centuries, just like the Irwins have been purveyors of reptiles. Oh, it's quite incredible how the roles continue. Of course, they're going to have their own. They're not going to let anyone else, get anywhere. That's just how it is. We are in a caste system. That's where, it all seems to be something to do with India, and certainly that's been right on the table here in Australia. a stadium full of people cheering them. Modi and Albanese. Jacinda, yes. The cinder, the Lucifer, the burning idea, straight up, isn't it? And now's when she walked down the hallway, and it was all swinging. But I swear to you, they'd be cut and they put the strapper on to get the effect. Yeah, the idea, yeah, the women are coming against, that's right. Yeah, very interesting. It is, Gillian. It's an interesting world, to say the least. And we're privileged people, I think, to know this, eh? That's what I said to these people today. It's actually a privilege to be a bit educated, and really educated. People think they're educated and they don't know anything. I know a guy I went to school with and he was on Facebook banging on. He really believes all the vid and all that and go and get wackied. And he was a very smart guy, but he made medical things after school, and he was getting. His sister told me he was getting like $50 an hour back when that was good coin, making pacemakers. He's quite a little engineering skilled and everything, and he was talking down to a friend of mine who's a lawyer who is sort of semi-smart, even though he's a bit of an alcoholic, but he's got much more idea than this medical one. The medical one was so, well, I know about that because, I'm the medical, and I didn't jump in. I wanted to jump in on him. So listen, you think you're so bloody smart, but I mean, you remember me at school. You and me were sort of both at more the top of the, you know, uh, in marks and things. So you always beat me a bit because you was a real anal, retentive sort of, I was such a rebel. They used to mark me down a bit, but you should know that I'm not silly. I topped history and I was pretty high up in the English. My maths and science went down a bit because I just was too much of a stoner and a surfer and a rebel, I didn't concentrate enough. But I feel I could have now. I could have probably topped it all if I really had put my mind to it. But certainly I'm glad now that I've got this thinking brain that, puts me above this guy, even though he was one, probably he was maybe top in the chemistry and blah blah, and maybe second in physics, and then he ended up doing this heart pacemakers and all this, and he's been very successful. He's bought his own home in eastern suburban Sydney, and then he inherited him and his sister and parents' home. So he's loaded guy, but he's lefty. It's funny, the loaded lefties we call him. So Black Coffee, then Trumpy taking credit. Oh yes, yeah, Faber. He's one and the other. He's against and for. He's so good, isn't he? He can just hopscotch. You know the game hopscotch, folks? Where left foot, right foot, and you get in the end. That's what it's like with Trump, isn't it? 1 minute he's this, 1 minute it's like chameleon. It isn't a chameleon. David Bowie, I think it's an album. There's that chameleon song, and then there's the other Karma Chameleon. Yeah, and Trump is the thorn, of course. So that fits. And that logo for the HMAS Trump, what a joke. That was a tee, a golf tee, which is like a thorn, isn't it? Yeah, everything fits together, a package. Oh, we're up to 20. Record breaking. Well, Cody and all them would be worried, won't they? I finally got to 20. And they're getting 200 and more. Yeah, it's quite amazing, because that, it gets boring, their gematria on baseball and stuff. But I think this is a bit more interesting, don't you, folks? Well, I think I've got an hour. I think we've done enough, guys. Best I can do, and I've got to do some work to try and scrabble up a little extra income for myself. I'm too old now to work. It should be, I should be on a pension already. They've made the pension to 67. It's criminal, absolutely criminal what they do to people here in Australia. It'd be good if you could earn enough money you could self-fund. But, it's very hard because you have to pay everything out to live. And, yeah, it's just how it is. Anyway, I've had a pretty good life, I must admit. And I'd hate to be a young person today coming into this data center world and whatever have you. And so much environment's been destroyed in our lifetimes here. Anyone more my age, anyone 50 and above would know what I mean there. Australia was a beautiful place, and every you look, housing estate here and high rise in Sydney and Brisbane is shocking. Who wants to live in high rise, eh? Thank you, Gillian. It was great to hear you too and see the thumbs up. Yeah, amazing how I can talk this long. I can't believe it myself, you know. I was thinking I started the live stream. What do I have to talk about? But yeah, I've found a few things. Good talking about Wellington and talking a bit about surfing and talking about the comfrey. I tell you, grow some comfrey. Oh yeah, must be because he gets all these people travel the world. Max Egan, Cody, Santos. Oh, just off there they go here. Egan's the funniest one, isn't he? Turns up in Mexico, and there's that other guy that walks around with his little dog in Mexico, and they never cover the Earl Grey, do they? Yes, this flock cameras is an interesting idea. Definitely, we are under a camera world, so smile, you're on candid camera. That was a pre-program for us all, eh? The candid camera. Yeah, so, yeah, crazy, the surveillance world. Alright, well, I better wrap this up, and I hope you enjoyed the live stream, folks. Something a bit different from the Jungle Man. And I'll work out how to change these photos a bit easier. I know there should be a way to do it easier. And put a video up while I'm talking, maybe. Things like that. Yeah, Carlo, and construction just to keep a roof on the head, yeah. Cody, it's with a K. He's a Chamatra guy. Yeah, thank you for watching, Jason. No, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream, because it all does feel a bit lonely in this world with so many uneducated people. It'd be good, if you have people who are a bit more educated. Then we look at beautiful things rather than talking about the rubbish. Yeah, the flock of seagulls. I ran so far away. Funny how that fits. Just as they're talking flock cameras, and Iran is a big thing. It's 7 p.m. Big Kush. Oh, well, that's a good time for Cali, and it's a good time for Australia, isn't it? Because it's mid-morning here on Saturday. So that. Thank you for that. When I think about it, that would be a good time for me to do these. Funny thing, his name is 43. Oh, yeah, okay. Got in trouble. Yeah, the old, yeah. You don't know what's true or false, is it? When they say somebody's been arrested for this, or there's some things they put up on Facebook of Muzzies attacking somebody in a train, and a lot of that's fake. It's just, you don't know where truth lies anymore. Yeah. Well, you guys are ahead of here, of course. Yeah, ran so far away. I always put that down to that would be used more in the future, and it really is. Yeah, the realists. We are the realist gang. And that's why we're so limited. 20 views. you know. I said to this guy today, I said about Santos getting 5,000 views in a day. I said, mate, and he's defending him, and he nearly got violent with me, I tell you. And I said, calm down. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. That anyone that's getting that sort of view count, it just has to be on the Earl Grey or similar. And Santos, I'm not sure he's fully Earl Grey, but he's, definitely on the feminine side of thing too. So I suppose there's ones who are full, and there's ones who are just might as well be. Realists. Ambulance, your comments over the years, you and Kate Emma, two of the best commenters ever on my channel, I must admit. And Glenn Garns, I think you've done some pretty good comments too. Yeah. FM. Yes, that's FM radio. Now we know what it was all about, eh? Yeah, yeah, people are getting paid. Oh, the SS on the Stone there. Anything with Stone, isn't it? That's an interesting one. Rocks and Stone. Rock Johnson and Sharon Stone. Big with the Stone and the Rock. H5N1. Oh, I'll have to check that out. That's some new idea of, I hate to use the word virus. Uh, yeah, well, I think that this is a good time because it seems most of my viewers are either in Australia, New Zealand, or Cali. Um, so this is a very good time. It's going to be a bit late for the Pommies, but Pommies stay up late anyway. So, is there anybody from England in the house? Just speak now, or ever hold your peace. Yeah, Rolling Stones. Yeah, you see, yeah, that's exactly right. Rolling Stones. Yeah, 100%. Oh, Norwegian. Yeah, that's an interesting place, isn't it, Norway? Oh, yes, of course. Skewed to the max. Yes, Sylvester, definitely. There. Oh, isn't that terrible in age? That is so bad, that one. The face tightening is the funniest thing, eh? The absolute face tightening, that tells you everything. Yeah, so nobody in UK that can speak or forever hold their peace. Everyday people. I am everyday people. You guys need to show passport to play it. Okay. Right on, Amber. Yeah, good on you, Jason. Good on you, Dirty With. Good on you, Big Kush. Big Mick. They're all having a bit of a go here now. Excellent to see people chatting to the jungle. And I'm glad you've enjoyed my stuff. It's a lot of years now I've put under the belt here, that's for certain. And that's what I said to these people this morning. I should have a lot of more followers, man, in the time. But of course, they cut my main channel down. Lucky I had this backup, eh? I thought of that. And I have to be extra careful on this one. I was still scared to put my Apollo one up, just for the amount of views it had. I thought, they mightn't like that. But of course, their views in the past. It's had 50 views, new views, since I have put it up. Yeah, thanks you, Dirty. I don't mind doing a bit of a live. Yeah, I'll try and do them once a week. Look on this one. Okay, 3 a.m. in London. Yeah, 3 a.m. Eternal, KLF. Wasn't that a good one? We're justified, we're ancient. We roam across the land, they were telling us there. Yeah, good on you, Gillian. Yeah, well, that's true, I mean, I came to a point with the normal vids just going nowhere, and I thought, well, if I do a bit of live, I'll probably pick up a few extra people, and it's all an education for people. Yes, spill the wine. The wine is a big thing. They had Beckham drinking wine. It was a bit about wine I've seen in the stuff. 413 in Norway. Yeah. Yeah, thanks DSN. Yeah, there's probably more than 22. 8:15 p.m. New Mexico. Oh, that's an interesting place, isn't it? Old New Mexico. It seems to go down in all that desert area, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona. Yeah, Southern California here, California Disneyland here, all fake, everything's fake. Yeah, Disneyland, yeah, Disneyland's such a fake thing, isn't it? Club 33, yeah, it's incredible. Oh, we've got somebody here in Thailand, 9:14. Oh, it'll be in the morning. Yeah, you're a bit behind us here in Australia. Just, well, that's nearly 3 hours because it's 12:14 precisely in Australia here right at the moment. Else I'll have to end this live stream. Okay, thanks everybody. I've got to do some work now. It's really dragged on a bit. I might do it just a little bit earlier. I had to go to the library, as you know, this morning, and then I wanted to give warning before I just did it. But it's great that it's all worked, and I've got the chat working tickled pink. It's taken me a fair bit to get this. Now I've just got to sort out how to change images a bit more smooth. So I might go back to the library next week and get a bit more help done. And that'd be great. And there's a little amber lance saying bye-bye. All right, well, we're about to stop the live stream, so I'll say good morning, good night, good afternoon to whoever they're watching. Somebody from Victoria. Yeah, isn't it funny? It's just so much Australia and America and a little dash of England. Not much else in the world, but somebody there from Thailand, but I think big mix, probably Australian. Yeah, thanks, Dirty. We're trying to keep up the good work. You know, I've tried to, anyway, it's a bit of fun anyway. God else, what else am I doing other than my garden? And it's good to connect with people from all over the world a bit. Well, at least from America and the odd one from Canada was a BC Big Butter here, and somebody from New Zealand, and somebody expat and out from Thailand. And it'll grow well. We get the odd bod from here and there. And don't forget Norway. You're from Norway, Dirty, yeah? 7:20. Cheers all. All right, I'm going to hit the stop button now, and we'll see you maybe next Saturday I'll do another one. I'll try to do most Saturdays, okay? And around this time. And I'll give warning before I do. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. And we'll talk to you again at another stage. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.